Over the past few years, Fort Morgan has seen an influx in the refugee population. Fort Morgan is something that is known as a secondary site for refugee relocation. I talked to Mark Ringel for an inside look at the transition refugees have to go through.
Most of our refugees come from Eastern Africa right now, mainly Somalia, but we have kids from Eritrea, Kenya, Ethiopia, Bangui. Actually, the thing that people need to understand about our community, in our school district, my last report that I did for the school board, we have kids in this district from 24 birth countries other than the United States. So for rural Colorado, that is pretty significant. Not all are refugees. We have a number of immigrants from Central America. We're from El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico, South America, Australia, Germany, Russia. So we have a number of kids from all over the world. So that's exciting in terms of what you are going to see in later life in terms of being in the world economy and world marketplace. What kind of life did our refugee kids specifically have prior to them coming here? The majority, well, let's say 99% of our families that have come here were misplaced because of wars in their own country and came here from refugee camps.
Refugees usually have to live in a refugee camp for up to 10 years before they get relocated to a permanent location. Living in a refugee camp is very difficult because most of the time people are forced to live in tents and are often mistreated. Mr. Ringel gave me a hypothetical situation that would help students understand the transition of many refugees a lot easier.
So give you an example here. War broke out in Fort Morgan. You live on the west side of town. In the middle of the night, you have to leave your home with what you have in your hands and on your back. So you move to the east side of town. The fighting continues, so you have to leave, and now you have to go to brush. And now it keeps expanding. So what you have in possession is what you left your house with in the middle of the night. So now you're going to Sterling to get away from the violence. And it continues to spread. Now you're in Nebraska. So this is what our families have lived. So in Nebraska, there's not places for you to stay, so they set up a camp for you in Nebraska. And you stay there for 8 to 10 years. Most of the refugees stay in the campus up to 10 years. So in the hypothetical example, so now you've been in this camp in Nebraska for 10 years and they have a spot for you to get some permanent housing and some assistance in Canada. So you get put on a plane and fly to Canada and start your life over with a couple years of assistance from the government and the United Nations, and then you're on your own to survive. So most of our kids have been displaced from their home because of war and have been living in refugee camps. And if you've never seen a refugee camp, get on YouTube and look at the refugee camps in Kenya, where most of them are. And our kids that are here have experienced probably more than we will in a lifetime.
I hope that this gave you a better look at the life of a refugee.